Dennis Brown. How
How
are
are
you,
you?
sir?
I'm fantastic. How are you, sir?
Every day is a blessing. Hey, this is an interview about you and talking about how you got involved in the business. But I looked something up. What do you think my second best friend is?
Fred.
Now, my wife is my first best friend, and my second best friend is ChatGPT. So I ChatGPT'd something just a few minutes before we started this. And what do you think the average loan officer in the country does as far as how many mortgages, closings that they have per month? What do you think that number is? I might make you smile for a second here, Dennis.
The average, I'm going to guess 10.
1.4
Oh, per month?
per month, 1.4, which actually, quite frankly, would be about 13, 14 a year, right? And I think you're running about 12 loans a month is what your average is right now. So Dennis, you're actually closing 10 times that of the normal loan officer. So congratulations.
Thank you, Dave.
That's pretty awesome. So I want to unpack this. What did you do before you got involved in the loan business?
After school, I played professional ice hockey and I spent 4 years as a hotel manager, managing some of the most beautiful hotels in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yeah, so you just kind of breezed over this professional hockey thing. I know you personally, dude, and you're like probably one of the sweetest guys I've ever met. Just like really, really super nice. Everybody says how nice you are. And yet you played professional hockey. Are you as nice when you're out playing hockey as you are in
I, th-
person?
I think I'm one of the nicer guys on the ice. I think there's
Oh,
uh, I think there is an atmosphere and a mentality that you have to have if you want to play that, like professional sports, like rugby, UFC, things like that. Like you have to have some grit and some I want to beat you mentality, right? I would say I was probably one of the nicer guys. I actually won the nice guy award on the ice
well, you didn't.
when I was
Seriously?
playing in college. Yeah, I'll have to send you the photo of it. But I was
No
voted
way.
one of the nice guys in the tournament. So
Yeah. Well, I've actually seen pictures of you like checking people and you don't look all that nice.
yeah, you're not going to make it too far in ice hockey if you're going to be a nice guy all the time. So on the
Yeah.
ice, we're enemies against the other team, and then off the ice, we can be friends again.
So I played a little bit of rugby and I understand that without a question because we all hung out after the game, but it was just a lot of fun. So do you bring some of that, not the mean side or the whatever, but do you bring some of that competitive nature to your business and mortgages?
Absolutely. I think professional athletes or Division 1 college athletes or athletes in general, they bring a level of competition that just does well in sales, right? So
Okay.
there's a competitive nature in sales, and sales is just helping people, right? You help people solve a problem. Being an expert is helpful, but working with the team, being a leader and communicating well, those are just important values of sales and being an athlete. So I think they just correlate really well.
Yeah, excellent. So you've only had like three jobs. You had like your professional hockey and then a hotel manager, and now you're a mortgage person. They're quite a bit different. So hotel management. So what did you do in hotel management? So we just have an idea of what you did when you transitioned into mortgages.
So when I was playing professional hockey, I wanted to get a job in the summer because the season's only what October through June at the latest.
Yeah,
And so I
sure.
wanted to stay busy. There's a hotel in Oklahoma, and I reached out to the owners and I said, "Hey, I'd like a job." They said, "Hey, would you like to valet?" I said, "Absolutely." Started working as a valet, and when I got done playing hockey, they were like, "Hey, would you like to open a hotel for us and be the GM?" Of course. So I opened up from literally just a building, blank slate, put everything in there, staffed the whole place, started everything top to bottom, opened that business. So I got to open a business myself. And then they moved me to another hotel, a bigger hotel, and then they moved me to another big hotel. So really cool part about being a general manager is being in charge and being a leader, being there for your team and being able to support them. And then I would say the hardest part was I was actually friends with some of them and then I became their manager. So just separating yourself and being able to focus on business and then being able to focus on social life was a big challenge for me. That it was a great lesson for me to grow as a human being.
And I believe you did weddings. and you did a lot of those type of things. And of course, there's a lot of emotions attached with that, which I think carried forward probably, if I had to guess, really well into the mortgage space, right?
If you can manage a bride and their family on a wedding day with all these emotions and you only get one shot at it, then you can do well in things like mortgage and real estate. It just translates so well. Customer service. I just really think that if you're doing well in any forms of that, events, front of house work, and you're great with people, you're going to do well in the mortgage and real estate industry.
Yeah. So when you transitioned into, so you're going to have people watching this video that might be new loan officers or somebody thinking about getting in the loan business. Was it just really easy when you jumped in and you just started closing loans, or what was it like for you making that transition? What were some of the challenges that you experienced in that first year?
Biggest challenge is you think you are just running numbers and going to be a loan expert, and that's part of it. But when you become a mortgage loan officer or a realtor, your job is to generate leads. And you just don't understand that fully. So if you can understand that your job is to generate leads and generate your own book of business, you'll do just fine. But being an expert in the field is also super important. It goes hand in hand. But yeah, those two things. Become an expert, understand the guidelines, your loan programs, how your company works, what you can and can't do. And then the most important thing is generating leads and doing a great job to have continued business.
There's such a correlation between mortgage people and real estate, and quite frankly, most sales, right? But in real estate, a lot of real estate agents get their license as well, and they might know that purchase agreement. They might know everything and they got it down, but yet they struggle at finding customers. And if you don't have customers, you're not going to be able to do that contract for anybody, are you?
Correct.
So you obviously have to have this education, right? You have to know what you're doing. But if you don't have the ability of generating business, you're not going to be in business.
Exactly. Like you can learn all you'd like. You can read all you'd like. You can watch videos, podcasts. You can be an expert at the field. But if you have no business to work on, then you're earning zero income and you're not servicing anyone.
Mhm. So, in this period of time, obviously, I believe at one point, because you and I have talked quite a bit, and one point you had 20 some files in your system. And it was almost like a breakdown moment where you were so overwhelmed by the business. And then I think you took a little step back and you came back at it again with a different attitude. During that whole thing, when you were transitioning up and you had a lot of business, and there was a certain light bulb, I think that might have most people, there's light bulbs that go off. What did you experience in that first couple years? And Dennis, how long have you been doing it?
I'm in my
4 years
fourth
now?
year. Mhm.
Fourth year. Okay. So what was some of the light bulbs that went off for you that made such a transition? Because quite frankly, Dennis, you're awesome in what you do.
I think I learned to ask better questions. So, one, when you start in any sales position, you're going to fail. And you can either dwell on that or you can learn from it and pick yourself up and go and just ensure that that mistake doesn't happen again. Because anything you're going to start a career in, you're going to make mistakes. Are those mistakes going to derail your business or are they going to help you grow your story and make you better? And at one point, there's the maximum limit for every salesperson where they're kind of capped. And now, if they take on more business, there's diminishing returns. So their service dwindles down. And then you're actually, life gets worse because you're actually just doing a poor job for more people. So understanding, asking better questions, managing time much better. When you ask right questions, you can actually help more people and do a better job if you can manage your time and find out how urgent things are. One important advice I got in sales was identifying the nature of the call, right? Sometimes you need to hop on that right now and you actually need to clear your schedule and focus on that right now. And the other things can wait. They can maybe wait till the next day, maybe the next week, maybe they need to happen tonight. But identifying what needs to happen now, if you don't do that well and don't ask the right questions, it's going to be very challenging for you.
Let's dig down deep into that a little bit, if you don't mind, unpack that. So I'm assuming what you're also saying is like if you get a call at Sunday night at a certain time, instead of spending a whole night working in it with your family, you're actually setting. So when are you writing an offer on a house? When you're doing this, so it's not like this constantly, right?
Yes. And even just asking the question, hey, when do you need this done? Right?
That's a great question. When do you need this done by?
Yeah, when do you need this done by? Hey, I need this done tonight. Okay, so you identified that the need, the client's need, the partner's need, and if I need to get this done tonight, I'm going to get it done tonight, right? I'm going to communicate clearly. I'm going to keep in touch. I'm going to provide updates. If they're not going on their showing, or maybe the person's not even interested in the property, right? And they might want to go see other properties. You ask them, and they're like, "Hey, actually, I'm not really interested in that property anymore. I'm actually going to go check out some homes next Saturday." So maybe you don't need to work on it that night. Maybe you need to save it for the next morning and then keep everyone updated. And being able to ask those questions, block off your times is super important. If you're not blocking off your schedule, managing your time, you're just kind of freestyling it, typically doesn't end well.
I look at there's three S's for success. A little coaching here, Dennis.
Okay.
Three S's for success: systems, skills, and schedule, right? So let's just start with the systems. If we have great systems, we're always offering great customer service. We also can go home at night knowing that there's no mistakes, right? And systems allow you to do more business in less time. Skills, why is one person, like even in real estate, Dennis, why is one person closing 9 out of 10 listing appointments and somebody else is having an even hard time even getting a listing appointment, right? And then schedule, if we're always concentrated on the efficiencies of our schedule, we can do more in less time. I think when you had that moment that you shared with me, you probably put some systems in place. You probably worked on your schedule. And you might even, with the language you're asking and the questions, were actually some skills that you were working that allowed you to do more business in less time. Is that correct?
That's correct. If we can touch on all three, but yes.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So
It's your podcast.
yeah, regarding systems, so tracking your stats, tracking your clients, including them in your schedule. So these days I'm going to follow up. These days I'm going to work on this. And then with your schedule, like that time block, hey, for these 2 hours, I'm going to focus only on new business. And it's so hard to stick in the time block, but you have to do it. We've seen those coaching sessions, we've seen those success stories. The top 1%, the top producers, they block off the time and they make the calls because they know how it affects their business in the next 2, 3 months. Ways to not have success is scheduling that time and then letting everyone else's problems interfere with what you needed to do, right? So identifying, hey, does this need to happen right now, or should I go ahead and move this to the next time block? So sticking to your schedule, time management is very important. I think skill might be one of the top pieces because if you have the skills to interact, to listen, to ask the right questions, people will like you and you will just draw more business in, and that will help you with your systems and your schedule.
I love what you just said and the way you said it, Dennis. Listen and ask the right questions. So you didn't say talk. You said listen and ask the right questions so that they can talk and they communicate because that builds the rapport, right? That gathers information. And then quite frankly, whoever's asking the questions is in control of the conversation too. That's excellent. So I have coached a lot of loan officers, and the first thing I ask them is, what's your value proposition? What do you have that is different from somebody else? What is your unique value proposition? And what I usually get, Dennis, is what do we think most loan officers say? They have what?
Great communication.
Great communication. What's the next one? Rates, great rates, low cost. I'm always available, right? These are the things that everybody says. And some people obviously do that better than others, right? But it's the perception they're getting out there. To be successful, I think you have to have a value proposition. You have to have something more than that you're just this nice guy, this ex-hockey player, right? But you have to have some reason why somebody's willing to work with you. Tell me, truly, why do the people come back to you all the time and work with you? What's your value proposition? What separates you from other loan officers?
I make the mortgage process fun. This mortgage process, buying a home, it most people don't understand that it's very highly emotional, very stressful. Having someone to lead you, guide you, who's an expert in the field, if you're a client, it's almost invaluable to kind of guide you step by step, walk you through the process, and make sure that you can deliver and deliver on time. I think is very important. And I think that's why clients come back to me. One, I think they also just genuinely understand how much I care about their situation. I think people say they're available. I think people say that they have great communication. But when the going gets tough, I'm able to get creative and find very creative avenues to make sure that they get to their closing table. So I think that's one reason why my business partners also enjoy working with me, is because they know as soon as I've stamped something that I'm going to deliver.
It comes back to the system, skills, and schedule. And you've mastered all those things, and therefore you get a lot of repeat and referral business because your business is always, quite frankly, you don't have fallout, right? You have good loans, people are happy, great reviews, and that itself drives business to you. One of the things that I always look at when you look at real estate agents and loan officers, okay? People sometimes say, which business should I go into? One of the things I say about the loan business is that, business comes from really kind of two places. It comes from the public, like there's a lot of consumer to direct lending, right? And the other one comes from the relationships that you build with your referral partners, such as real estate agents, right? So if you get a real estate agent that's going to give you 5 files per year and you have 20 real estate agents, you actually build a business that's a residual of 100 closings every single year. Where a real estate agent, even though they get repeat and referral business, they're not getting 5 transactions from every client every single year and over again. So you really can build up quite the business inside of mortgages. Dennis, so advice if you would. So you're talking to a brand new loan officers. What are the top 3 things that you would say this is what you want to focus on to be successful in the mortgage business?
I think number one is the lead generation. There's many ways and avenues, I think you mentioned, to generate leads. If you love videos, that's super helpful. One, if you're entertaining, people like that, right? But if you're providing value, you're teaching, that's great. And people will come to you because they like and trust you. So lead generation is most important. I think I mentioned already, number two is being an expert. So learn your programs, learn your products, right? And number three, I would say, is the things you can control. You can control your attitude, you can control your communication. I think one thing that I wish I knew going in is just, if I could tell myself joining and becoming a loan officer, is take your emotion completely out of the sale. Like any frustrations that you might have. And when things go sideways, just be the Mr. Fix It or Mrs. Fix It, or be the problem solver, and really just take your emotions out of the sale. The most important thing is that your client gets to where they need to be, and you need to leave your ego out of it.
Awesome advice, Dennis. Well, anything you would like to add?
No, I appreciate it, Dave.
Yeah, you're awesome, Dennis. Appreciate it. Well, this is Dennis Brown, and I'm Dave Thompson, and thanks for watching.